My great-grandfather started us in West Plains, Missouri in 1935.
What got him started, he actually owned a truck, and he went to St. Louis to the auctions and bought, it didn't matter if it was furniture, a .22 rifle. He would sell anything at first, and he rented a building for $10 a month and just started making it happen in the middle of the Depression, and it kind of grew and then kind of took off. And then when my dad came of age, he got into the business and kind of wanted to start his own business, so he came down to Arkansas and we started this store in 1966, and so our family's been doing it a long time.
Having that history is something that we take very seriously and that means a lot to us. So part of keeping the tradition going is honoring the people that have not only done this in the past, but our customers as well, people that have shopped with us for so long. That's another cool thing about the history is I get to talk to people that have been shopping here for some of them 30, 40 years, so it's special to us that we've been able to be around that long, and hopefully we can continue to do that.
We've had some employees that have been here a long time, and they've watched everybody's kids grow up. It's a big family. I mean, our customers are family, you have your work family. Absolutely. I remember riding the bus down here as a kid, every day. So you sweep the floors, you're on the delivery truck, you've done it all if you've been around it all your life. And me having those memories, it speaks to family and what it means to have a family business. So many businesses aren't family businesses anymore. And I feel very blessed to have one and be a part of one.
For kids, it's like a big playground in here. Both customers' kids, our kids, so they love coming up here, and having them a part of it too. If it's something that they ever wanted to do, seeing the operations, being around the customers, just kind of understanding the business at a young age, I think is really important to, if they do want to do it, eventually, seeing myself, seeing my wife, seeing their grandfather work in it. If it is something they want to do, again, it can answer a lot of questions early on for them. And then if it's something that they don't want to do, that's fine also. But at least they were up here, they were around it, they had an opportunity to see what it was about.
So Brad and I we first met in Rogers. We were both teachers there. And I loved it. That's where I first saw Brad's heart was through education. And so when it was first mentioned, hey, how do you feel about moving to Mountain Home, this small town? Well, much smaller than Rogers anyway. I was a little nervous, but it's been great. And it's funny just to see the heart that can actually be in retail. That was a big surprise for me. Then I started working here, and you see the woman, needing a lift chair for her husband who just had a procedure, or the girl who needs a rocker because she just had her baby. And it's just kind of cool to be able to help people with that and, make their homes comfy and cozy.
When my dad got out of the Army, he came to Mountain Home and started Butler Furniture in 1966, and him and my mom worked 6 days a week for a long time and had it for 30 years, and then my brother and I stepped in, and we've had our 30-year run, if you will, and my wife, she came into work, and it's been a true family affair, but 4 generations now with my son here.
It is wild, being a part of a 4-generation store. I mean, that's something I feel like is super rare and crazy to think about. I've got 2 boys and my daughter that they could even go on to be a 5th, and that's what we hope for. I would love for that to happen. Being in the family, it puts a lot more, I think, passion behind, our customer service. We really stand by that, and I think that's why it's made it as long as it has, honestly, because we do just take pride in helping those in our community. And it seems silly, I know it's material things like a sofa or a chair, but that dining room table, that's where conversations are happening in a house.
Since day one, it was my grandmother and my grandfather working. My mother and father were working. And all of the spouses were always here every day. My mother worked every day. And I remember it was just a family affair. We would, she would leave early to get, supper ready, and I mean, she was a rock here every day. She was our bookkeeper until we had a bookkeeper, right? And my wife had got into the interior design part of it and selling, and now Brad's wife's a part of it. So we've been lucky that really since the very beginning, it's just always been a family affair. But the women of Butler Furniture have always been an important part of it, I'll promise you that. You know, Mom and Dad worked 6 days a week building this business, and you know, that's just the way it was. But it's nice at being multi-generational and seeing people come up through it, and seeing our employees' kids. I've seen my customers' kids and some of their grandkids still shopping with us. So it's just, to be in business over that length of time and it all be one family is really unique.
We're now having my wife come in here, very, very special, you know, to me, and she's really taken a lot off my plate and helped unbelievably. She does all of our bookkeeping, and, you know, prior to her coming in, I was trying to do all of that, and so, you know, getting her in here has been amazing. It's been again a great blessing, and been awesome to see her thrive in that role, and you know, she does a fantastic job.
It was definitely an adjustment. When we first moved, I actually stayed home with our 2 sons, and I was pregnant with our daughter. So, you know, and that was kind of another cool thing is Ren, our little girl, you know, the boys, when we lived in Rogers, they were in daycare because I was teaching, and that was tough, you know, dropping off a 3-month-old at a daycare. But that's been one really cool thing about this move is just being able to bring Ren in. Like I said, I mean, she was 6 weeks old, and she was up here, you know, laughing, giggling, crawling, and this is where she learned to crawl, you know. And that was great to be able to, you know, both balance family and work.
You know, and you know, I always called it the big picture. It is funny to me how difficult people can make business. I mean, to me, it is just the big picture. It's just if you just take care of people and you genuinely want to, I think that's important. I mean, if you really care about your customer and making them happy, you're going to be happy. It's a pretty simple formula.
We do a bunch of work to keep the store running. And it's a great place for you to buy stuff.
They just goof off.